Hello and welcome to the latest Business Spotlight interview from here with Action Coach. So my name's Gary Hales. I'm Action Coach down in Dorset, and I'm delighted to have Leo with me today from the Who Dares Group. So a little bit different to many of the other people I've spoken to on these Business Spotlight exercises. So I'm looking forward to getting Leo's insight in his business, how he's overcome his challenges and the success that he's achieved. So no doubt I, along with others who are watching this, are going to learn a great deal from you, Leo. So rather than me introduce you, you're obviously the greatest expert on yourself. So, tell us who you are and what you do, what your business is.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for the intro. So I'll try and keep it reasonably short. My military career has spanned 20 years. 5 years was as a Royal Marine Commando, and I was an instructor at the Commando Training Centre. So I would bring, whether they're 16 years old or all the way up to 36-year-old, and sometimes we'd have bankers from the finance area, all different areas of walks of life, and I would train them from all the way to 34 weeks to get them their Green Beret and in leadership and etc. From there, I did 15 years in the Special Forces, so an extra 15 years, which gives you the total of 20. And that's really the key area with Special Forces, because they're very much different to the rest of the military. Our leadership and management areas and how we work as a team has some very unique differences to the rest of the armed forces, although the armed forces are absolutely fantastic in leadership and management and what they do. And that's really where my skill set is. And one of my business partners, he has come from the corporate realm. He studied at UCL. For those of you that know, UCL is a very prestigious university, and he worked in corporate. And he always tells me that when he learns about my experiences, he said, Leo, there's definitely levels to Special Forces, because he can see where if you do a minimum time and the maximum time that I did, I certainly work at the strategic level. And that's where Who Dares Group came in, where we started getting requests from our sister company that we did. Could we do management and leadership consulting, and also workshops and an entire day and entire weekends for large corporations, because they could see the vast amount of experience that we can push over, really. And Cameron always says that the knowledge that I've got in my head, and also my instructors, so we've got around 15 instructors from all different facets of specialist units. Some of them are in the police as well, but I only picked the highest level of police. And I suppose that's where I've come from, and where the company was bred, and it was through request, because people could see this Special Forces guy with this much experience must be able to teach us something. So we do keynote talks, leadership, consulting, and more fun for us and for the companies is the entire day and 2-day experience workshops. I'll stop there, because I want to make sure that you get more questions.
No, that's great. Thanks, Leo. I guess sort of an opening question for people who are listening who may not be between the age of 18, 36 physically fit. I mean, who's your target market on this thing? Who are you aiming this for?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So that age bracket was just when I was an instructor at the Marines. So now our target market, really, if I look at all of our corporate training and the companies that we've done, I mean, to be honest, we really, when we started this 12 months ago, we started catching what some people would say are big whales of the corporate industry. So we've done, I'll tell you some of the ones that are happy for us to talk about. So JP Morgan is the finance sector. We've just last week worked with Inditex, which is one of the largest companies in the world, and they own Zara. They own 7 companies. One of them is Zara, and that's who we did some work with. We're in talks with Amazon at the moment, which they say we're happy to release when we sign. And then Red Bull C-Suite, we've worked with SharkNinja C-Suite. And the reason why I tell you this is because that means the age group is around 30 if they're doing very well, all the way up to 60, 70 years old. So as a baseline, we don't have any physical activity in what we do, because it's all, as you mentioned at the start, it's all really about the mental prowess and dealing with big decisions, critical thinking under pressure. So, and I'll get on to that a bit later around why they like to choose us over critical thinking, and one other aspect, which is leadership. I hope, does that answer your question a little bit, which is the age bracket
Yeah, you did as well, because I was sort of going to say, what do you actually do? But it was interesting you said it's not about physical, because the natural thing, you read Who Dares Group, you look at your website and your
Really.
background, and we think it's all physical fitness, go and jump in the sea in mid-December and, swim
Absolutely
and
not.
all these sorts of things. But it's interesting you talk about, the mental piece. And obviously from a coaching perspective, that's what it's all about from our point of view. It all starts with mindset, doesn't it? So, interesting. So when you look back, how long have you had your business, Leo?
So the business started with Who Dares Gyms, which is probably where you get all the physical aspects to it. That's a separate business now. That started 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
3 years, and then the Who Dares Group started 12 months ago, roughly.
Okay. All right, interesting. So if you look sort of 3-4 years further down the line, then, if you were to start from square one, looking at your business and what you did and how you drove it, what would you do differently?
What would I do differently? Not much, because as we all know, or hopefully everyone knows, the journey is the journey, and you're here today in the way you've built anything, whether it's even your personal self as a human being or a business. If you start a business, you had to get where you are today, and if there was bad decisions made or good decisions made or struggles, etc., that's got you to here today. So if you go back and change anything, how do you know the outcome will be the same? It's a classic from Jeff Bezos, who says when he looks back, all of his dots align to his success, and he means all the mistakes he's made. They had to be there to get where he is today. But I will answer your question, because you want an answer. So the answer, if that wasn't what you're after, would be probably just realizing that there's so much to offer from a special forces perspective, from the area that I was working in, that can be transitioned to corporate world without giving away any top secret information, without any top secret missions. So the answer would be potentially just start. I should have started that a bit sooner. But again, I'm happy with where we are now. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, you're not the first person who said, I should have started earlier. It tends to be quite a common theme because, once you get through those initial challenges, you realize, you're going down the right path. I mean, when you look at your journey then, Leo, as you mentioned, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced?
So I think, and I'll try and break this down slightly for people at home. So it's for ourselves, it was making sure the product was correct. And that stems from the special forces, where we want to make sure that it's quality. It's absolutely quality. And it's about the customer giving the customer exactly what they want and not shortchanging them. And I mean this specifically just to team management and coaching and team development. Because there's a lot of people that think they can just have a product, not look into what the client might need, just think, that's a product because I'm good at giving that product because it's my knowledge. But is it really giving 100% to the client? And so for us with a special forces background, we wanted to make sure we didn't release anything that doesn't give respect to the special forces way, which is absolute quality and the correct product. Of course, the other side is, everyone knows, if you have too much hesitancy, you'll never get it out there. However, yeah, that's just where we wanted to be, really, is making sure we had the correct product and released when it was ready, rather than rushing out there.
Okay. So how did you determine what your clients wanted, what the need was, and how did you build that into a strategy? What was your strategy? What was your business plan?
So it's understanding where the common pain points are with businesses, corporates, and for everyone at home, genuinely, this hasn't been brought out to bring out my 2 points. So we haven't practiced this. So the 2 points is that I've heard before, time and time again, is the two main things that we're concerned with in the future, which is Gen Z not being good at, Generation Z not being good at leadership. And for those people who don't know Gen Z, it's sort of before. I was born in 1982, so a little bit after, I think, the 90s or the 2000s, that kind of era, is that there's no real leadership and management within those people. And the second one is there's not going to be critical thinking. So what they're saying is that in a few years, large corporations are concerned that those middle management, Gen Z, are going to move up the ladder and they won't have real-time leadership or management skills or real experience in critical thinking. However, Gen Z are fantastic and are brilliant at everything that we're not very good at. So I'm 41 years old, by the way, and we should embrace that and allow confidence in Gen Z at what they're good at, and that's tech and everything I'm not very good at. And so that really let us mold the products into what's missing in corporate, which is real team leadership and what that looks like. Because a lot of our research showed that actually we spoke to some companies, they were getting a lot of people, leadership consultants on board, and they had no real backbone to say, this is how to be a good leader. They hadn't had what we call operational experience. They'd done lots of courses at university or research and hadn't done it firsthand. So when they're talking, it sounds brilliant, but they weren't getting the real gravitas of what the audience required, or the respect from the audience. So we knew that there was something there that we could give, and that's where we started our journey, really, learning there's a potential gaps. And of course, as you mentioned, it's only because we've got a real unique area, which is special forces, and then there's levels to special forces. Whether you've done 3 years, goes up and up and up, and I was fortunate to have done 15 years working at very much the higher level. So yeah, we knew that was potentially a small area where not many people could give that concise information across.
Yeah, I'd like to delve into that a little bit more, this whole sort of big decisions, critical thinking, etc. within, yes, that age group, but I guess it applies to all sorts of age groups and different people in their career. So how do you approach that from a sort of, people have a different mindset, I'm not good enough, or I'm too good, or, there are all sorts of positions people can take in that starting point. And I would imagine your starting point is sort of helping with self-awareness. What sort of pathway do you follow to help them improve their decision-making and critical thinking skills?
So that's a good point you touched on. So normally if we go off our half day or day or 2 day workshops, everyone always has a keynote talk from myself. So I get asked to do keynotes abroad sometimes, and just a keynote talk. And so I start with, got about 4 or 5. And again, going back to what we think corporates needed when we started, we molded different keynotes, and we talked to our clients beforehand as well, in depth. So we have a good few hours learning exactly what their pinch points are. And so I select the keynote for that. And your points about self-awareness is absolutely paramount to today's society. It's around really understanding the Generation Z, and also the pressures, not hiding away from how hard life is at the moment, not hiding away that social media is present, not hiding away from the fact that we've come out of COVID and home working, and really meshing the pain that individuals feel as human beings. That I like to work from home, but then I miss being in the office, and both have got pros and negatives. And self-awareness, we're sort of, whether we like it or not, all of us on the whole planet, if you've gone through the COVID era, we've all changed as human beings, and we cannot shy away from that. Yeah. There'll be positives, absolutely, that we've got from it, and negatives. And so on my keynote talk, I touch on real pertinent ethoses and aspects of special forces, what we do, which is self-awareness. It's about humility. I talk about imposter syndrome, because I've met prime ministers and very famous global superstars, Formula One, music, billionaires, whoever you think success is, I've met them, and they've all had imposter syndrome. So I talk about that and how it's actually it should be a development feeling. Imposter syndrome shouldn't be a negative. You should flip that and go, actually, I'm growth. Yeah, with imposter syndrome, because it means I'm surrounded by people that are making me feel like I'm not good enough, which means that I'm going to get better. So if you're the person with imposter syndrome, you're doing brilliantly in life, essentially.
Yeah. Good way of putting it.
And so in essence, you answer your question, I start with lots of titles of issues with the human person as in the individual, which is like touched on self-awareness, all the different things I mentioned before, and many more, because how we like to do it is build the individual. In the same as special forces, we build the individual first to make sure you're the absolute best human being that you can be. From there, We show you about working in teams. It could be as small as teams of 4, which in the corporate realm is your small enclosed team of 4 or 20 or 40, and how the teams, by working as individuals and then as a team, can naturally support the team next to you without even having any touch point with them, which is your different departments in corporate. And then if the departments are working, again, holistically and supporting and being the best they possibly can be, it naturally supports the company. So we take everyone on a journey, basically, of discovery as a human being, build them up from a special forces mindset. So we give them almost our sort of hacks of being a special forces operator and how we think in the head, which is very different to the rest of the military. We think very different to the British military. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to run, because we have things called what we class with no-fail missions from the government, which is missions that the government deem as impossible, or they just don't know how it's done, can be achieved, and they give them to us. And so I talk about that and how we have to have the mindset and grab that team and make that no-fail mission achievable.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Leo. What I want to do, most of the people who are listening in and watching this now are business owners. So I want to take your sort of experience as being a business owner over the last few years. And what would you say would be your biggest learnings as an employer over the last few years?
As an employer, it would be it's painful, because if you're a business owner, you're constantly trying to profit, margins, EBITDA, hours in the day. If you're letting them work from home, are they taking the mickey out of you as a boss? Are they not working as hard as you think they should be? You just constantly got to have self-awareness every day that it's your business, and to never get caught in the trap that everyone that you employ is as passionate about you as your business. They can be, and make sure you've got drivers for that, but you need to give them your ability for stress and your ability as a CEO or business owner. Apologies if you can hear that on my phone. It's a Ring doorbell going off. If your ability for stress and for persistent pursuing of what we call missions or goals or clenching deals, etc., is always going to be vastly higher than all of your employees. Mm-hmm. So, and this is my experience as well. When I transitioned and I worked for a very large tech company, they were easy to ring up late at night thinking we were going to have the same passion. We haven't. We can have passion, absolutely, and incentivizing them within your business is key, and then also allowing them release time. So that might be on a Friday, giving them that couple of hours off every so often. It doesn't have just randomly. Just go right on Friday, everyone. You're going to finish at 3, or on Wednesday in 2 weeks' time, have a few hours off. Although it's painful for as a boss, that will reap you benefits 4 times in months to come. And your most valued, especially with today's society, your most valued person in your business is the human being. It's the most difficult to manage because they're human beings, which we all know, and anyone in HR will understand. But actually, they're your most valued customer at the moment, or not customer, your employee, because we're moving into a tech era and AI. And soon the value, if you've got a good human being in your business, is going to be, again, times 10. Where tech used to be times 10, now it's going to be the human being. So please I implore you to look into the future of your business of 5 years and think, how can I start building now to keep my employees? I don't want them to go to another company. I don't want them to be working less because I've completely overexhausted them, because I'm the boss and I'm going to push and push and push and push, and they should be able to handle it. Always have self-awareness, think, actually, I can handle it more because it's my passion and it's my baby.
Yeah.
So that's what I would sort of implore. And at MI6, I've worked with MI6 on a personal level by myself abroad. They will only look at projects over 5 years. They don't want to look at any relationships or projects under 5 years, and try and look at that with your employees to think, how can I keep them 5 years and beyond? And what do I need to start implementing small pieces? And I'm not here to say it's not painful. Giving them time off is painful.
Yeah.
Telling them to go and have a break when you normally don't have a break is painful, because all you think of is money, money, money. So, but really look at the long-term game of that rather than the short term, it's going to cost me this week.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, as a coach, the top three things that I end up coaching people on is time, finance, and team. Team takes up because it's all about people, as you say. You've got to get the square pegs in the square holes. We do a lot of sort of assessments to get a real understanding of what people's motivators are, why they're at work, and how we can help improve. So it's absolutely critical, as you say. When you look back over the last few years, then what would you attribute your growth to?
In the business or in my life or in?
I'd be interested in both business and then also in your life in terms of, do they overlap or is it different things?
What do I attribute my success to?
Your growth, yeah. Success, growth in your business and your success, yeah.
Okay, so something I always realised I was doing when I was younger, and when I mean younger, 25 to 30 or latter years of Royal Marines and then the whole career of Special Forces, was I would always be annoyingly asking questions to every single new person I met. I was always overly interested, and I would never palm off someone if other people in the group would think, oh, that person is boring because they're talking about something about their own life or their own skill set. And I'm not talking about military, I'm talking about when we'd meet different personalities, etc. I would be overly interested because I knew that becoming a sponge of all the irrelevant information would help me at some point in my life in the future. I thought even if I was a grandparent and I can remember the conversation I had when I was 30, I'll be able to be a vet. So that definitely has helped my success because it's allowed my brain to absorb so many different areas of life and people, and knowing people and being able to have conversations with so many different people in society allows, certainly for my business as a sort of training company, it's exponentially allowed it to be successful with the products we've given. Mm-hmm. So not in sales, but once we've given the product, everyone is just overly overwhelmed by what they get, and that's because I and my team know people, and we're realists as well, and we go into the detail of their business and who they are, and we will try and give that little bit more, because on a personal level, everyone is slightly what's the word we would use? Selfish. So if everyone wants to grow as a human being, whether it's a boss, whether it's the people in their employment, so if you can give them something where they have personal growth and try and be a little bit selfish, so the business has to win the mission at the end. So if you're giving team development, etc., the business has to win, but always try and give those people that are attending personal growth in some way or format. And sometimes it can be completely separate to the business. So that mindset has helped me be successful. And then with business growth, it's we've kind of leveraged networking, which I was told it was always really important, but I never believed it. I didn't even know what networking was. Just go and have a cup of coffee. No, not necessarily. It could be just meeting someone and giving real personal interest in who they are when you meet them, and not think that you need that quick win immediately. You don't have to go there, as long as you, obviously networking is going there with a mission, say that can I show you this product that I've got and let's talk about your business. Doesn't need to be, okay, let's set something up immediately. You might get a phone call in 3 months, 6 months time, which I know everyone knows that, but that's probably the biggest driver for myself in success, which is respecting everyone at every single level. Never poo-pooing someone that you think's below you, or oh, they're just that, they can never give me anything back, or they can never help my business, they'll never be able to afford our products. That's absolutely categorically wrong. And firstly, it goes against what I believe in, which is respect every single human being on the planet. It's also, I think, helped me in success, which is it's helped me have a strong network, which has allowed growth in my business. We haven't even advertised yet. We haven't gone on an advertising trail yet. But yeah, we're going to because we want to now expand to a real high level. But we've been lucky where we've had some big whales on our first few clients, and that helped. But that, again, it's through network, it's being kind to everyone, and people remember that. And that's why it's helped me open doors.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Leo. The time has absolutely flown by. So in the last minute and a half, we're going to delve a little bit deeper into Leo. And tell me what your favorite business-related book or podcast is at the moment.
Oh, I've got so many. I like the Toyota Way.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
A good book for people to read. I'm just looking at my book up there. I mean, the Daily Stoic is fantastic for everyone to have on their kitchen table or in the
Okay,
office.
so I missed that. What was that one?
The Daily Stoic.
Okay. Oh yes, Daily Stoic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You must action that. So have that in the kitchen to read in the morning or in the office, and people can read it each day.
Excellent.
And what was the 4-hour work week is good. And what was your other question after that?
Podcasts of who you are listening to at the moment on podcasts.
I like personal growth again, so I like Stephen Bartlett. I like the Eventful Lives podcasts, but only the ones that have got the business leaders on there.
Yeah.
That's it really. I just like developing and listening to people that have businesses really.
Okay.
I love it. My time is very limited, so they're the podcasts I like.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. And last one, go on. What's on your bucket list? Where's Leo going next?
In business or pleasure?
Both. Interesting to hear both.
Okay. So business, we're going to start pushing, or hopefully trying to look to push to Dubai with the link to Saudi Arabia. So that's our next thing.
Okay.
And clearly America, if we can do that, that'll be huge growth. And then pleasure, my bucket list are, I've not been to India yet, crazily. So that's my bucket list, I think. I'll leave it there, yeah. There's many other countries, but India was a fun.
It's a big world. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, that's brilliant. Well, thanks for your time then, Leo. That was fascinating. I said the time just flew by, so I really enjoyed that one. So thank you very much. So if people are watching, reach out to Leo. All right.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for your time.